ready to, we're okay to go. We're okay. We're in charge. The Fenian Rising in Kilbaha, 1867.
It was March 23rd, 1867, as the workhouse van, drawn by tiring horses, rumbled over the stony streets in Kilrush. Its armed guard sharpened the curiosity of onlookers as it made its way to the square and slowly down Francis Street. It came to a halt at Bridewell Prison, then it handed over the prisoner to the keeper.
And that is how an unknown Kilbalioan man entered the pages of history. A man destined to play a significant role in the affairs of Kilrush a generation later.
His name was Thomas Fennell, a native Irish speaker who gave invaluable assistance to the nationalist John O'Dwyer in his campaign to raise the Maid of Erin, the memorial statue to the Manchester martyrs in Kilrush some 30 years later.
The Clare Journal of March the 7th was eagerly read in West Clare, and the story it told spread like wildfire through the towns and villages of Kilbaha.
The western districts of the county are in a great state of excitement. An actual collision has taken place at Kilbaha Coastguard Station, which was attacked by a body of men on Tuesday night, and the arms carried off. In the melee that followed, one of the coastguards was severely wounded. The insurgent party later was seen marching towards Kilrush.
The drama began Sharov Tuesday night at what is now the Lighthouse Bar, and was then an establishment run by Susan Hare, also named locally as Siobhan Pilkington, having run up as many appellations as she had husbands. 5 men entered her public house and called for drink. The conversation turned to matchmaking and marriages.
Oh, John, I suppose it'll only be a short while and you'll be marrying. Making an honest woman of some lucky young girl.
There's plenty of time yet. I wouldn't want to be adding up numbers as many as your good self and the list of men you've made honest. These customers had something other than marriage on their minds, but did not wish to reveal their true intentions to the publican or her clientele. The men were Fenians, and had come to play their part in the national rising, the object of which was to rid the country of the invader and establish once and for all an independent Irish republic. The leader of the group, no stranger in this locality, was John Delary, described in police testimonies as a national teacher and parish clerk of the neighbouring village of Cross. His followers: Thomas Fennell from Oakderard, Stephen Fennell from Ross, and Thomas Brennan from Fayard, and Patrick Fitzpatrick, alias Corbett, from Kilbalioan.
John Wilmot was the commissioned boatman at the Coast Guard Kilbaha. I'm a man of Catholic persuasion, and those Fenians imagined I'd be sympathetic to their cause. And my assistants? The Welshman here, Lloyd. Henry Stanford. A man matched to a girl from Carrigaholt, and for this reason expected to offer little resistance to the Fenians and their as yet unstated aim.
It was 5 o'clock that evening when I and my men entered the house of Wilmot, who was having tea with his wife.
Come in, John, the pot's just boiled. You and your friends will join us.
There now follows a short intermission while a car passes through.
Happened all the time in the 19th century. The men declined the cup of tea. No, ma'am. We wish to make a proposition to your good husband. We've lived long enough under the yoke of the oppressor. I stepped forward to clasp Wilmot by the hand. We demand the arms of the station in the name of the Irish Republic.
Thinking quickly and on my feet, I directed these upstarts to the watch house along the cliff by Marcus Keane's residence. All our weaponry is stored at the reading room. I'll fetch the key and meet you over there. I made urgent preparations to defend my station. I had the arms hidden away in my bedroom. I took down a loaded revolver and ran out into the yard with the intention of assuaging our assailants and catching them unawares. I sent word for my two trusty assistants to come to my aid. More quickly, Mary. Alert Lloyd and Stanford. In the scuffle which ensued in the yard of the station, I shot and wounded Thomas Fennel and placed him under arrest.
He shot him in the hip and the testicle.
In the heat of the moment. I then took on to Lucre, who came to the assistance of Fennel, and placed him under arrest in the name of the Crown.
However, my comrades immediately came to my aid. Weight of numbers held sway.
I cast around for my trusty assistants.
I overpowered Wilmot, stabbing him 3 times in the heat of the moment, wresting his revolver from him. I opened fire at the approaching Coast Guards. My comrades carried Fennel to safety.
It was only then that my trusty assistants came to my aid. Stanford drew a sword and challenged the men.
Stephen Fennel and Thomas Brennan impeded him.
After our assailants made off, I and my men retreated to Kilcradon Fort, where my recklessly inflicted lacerations were treated by the physician Dr. Keogh of Carrigaholt and his good wife Mary.
We helped Fennel to the house of James Keane, where he received medical aid. The Battle of Kilbaha was over.
The Fenians were now fugitives, and all the forces of the Crown stationed locally were mustered to secure their arrest. Keane's house was surrounded 3 days after the attack, and Thomas Fennel was placed under arrest.
Stephen Fennel, he went to Ennis and thence by train to Dublin, but returned after a few days. I believe he was in hiding at the house of Patrick Keating at Tulligower in Kilrush. Fitzpatrick was arrested on April the 13th at the house of my sister and taken to Kilrush.
In a further significant development, the Coast Guards, Welshman Owen Lloyd and Henry Stanford, were also arrested and taken aboard the gunboat Frederick William, stationed at Foynes on the Shannon estuary.
They were charged with timorousness. They had abandoned their commanding officer under enemy fire and left him to his own fate. They had run away. The gunboat Frederick William fired at least one cannonball at Rehe Hill, where the Fenians were in hiding.
A large iron ball with brass fittings survived in the area until the Second World War. It was used by the young men of the district for weightlifting and feats of strength, and was believed to be the ball fired by the gunboat at the local Fenians. The hunt for the fugitives was carried on relentlessly. Shipping in the Carrigo Holt area was watched with eagle-eyed forbearance. However, information was not forthcoming, and other furtive methods were resorted to.
A constable named O'Brien arrived in disguise in the area. He wrote to his superiors in Dublin, "I beg to state that the Reverend P. White again called on the people in the chapel in Carrigo Holt to
subscribe for the defence of the Fenian prisoners now in custody."
And also expressed his gratification that they were
no informers in this parish.
Constable Joseph Murphy later replaced O'Brien and observed that
a most studious and stubborn silence was observed by the people.
he believed the fugitives hid in the caves at night and remained barefooted all day,
to enable them to make a quick escape in the event of the pursuit of the police.
He also believed that the money being collected in the area for the defence of those in jail was in fact to be used to bribe ships' captains to take the Fenians safely to America, a reality which the revolutionaries themselves attested to. In a last, desperate attempt to get information, Murphy visited the house of Mrs. DeLucre disguised as a peddler.
Madam, would you like some boots and some blacking and maybe some laces? I hear there's been a bit of trouble in the area. I wonder who the people might be and where they may be hiding.
Get thee, God, from my door! I thank God my son is safe from the merciless clutches of the Crown. I swear on my life, neither you nor any of your ilk will get a morsel of information as to the whereabouts of our local heroes at this house or any other house from here to the Loop Head.
On April the 20th, Thomas Fennel and Fitzpatrick were removed to Innis to stand trial. The former on a treason felony charge, the latter on a white boy charge.
The judge on this occasion was His Honour my Lord William Keogh. He had famously sentenced the Fenian leader O'Donovan Rosser. Patrick Pearce delivered the graveside narration.
They think they have pacified Ireland. The fools, the fools, the fools. They have left us our Fenian dead. And while Ireland holds these graves, Ireland unfree shall never be at peace.
Fitzpatrick was sentenced to 18 months with hard labour, but was released in May 1868 on the condition that he emigrate to America. Fennel was sentenced to 10 years penal servitude for treasonable felony, and he was transported to Western Australia. He was aboard the Hougoumont at anchor near Portland Prison when he heard the news of the execution of the Manchester Martyrs.
Later in Australia, Fennel was pardoned, but banned from returning to Ireland. He migrated to America, setting up in New York as the operator of the commercial hotel. He was the local agent for the Cunard shipping line and went on to a distinguished public service as a City Park Commissioner. He was Elmira's first Superintendent of Public Works. When Kilrush decided in 1897 to erect a memorial to the Manchester martyrs, Thomas Fennell was contacted. He made a substantial contribution through fundraising in New York. He wrote to a Thomas Mahony of Kilrush.
It is gratifying that the national sentiment for which the old country has always been noted still lives, and that her sturdy sons are as ready and willing as ever to take up the cause and maintain it. Shinna will.
Shinna will.
That's him heading off to America right there.
There's the man now. Catch up with him.
Well done, guys.
I'm not going for that one. And I went flying.
Yeah, no problem. Absolutely. No, that's all right.
Well, how does this turn out?
It seems to be all right, hopefully. Anyway, once I catch the thing, I think I caught the red of the car as well. We'll see.
Will that be shown somewhere?
Well, yeah, I'll see what you want to do with it if we can.
Full Moon Drama Group, who did a fine reenactment of the Fenian Rising there.
I'm sure.